All right, going live here, and tonight we have Jami Heart. So
Yes, hello.
we got DJ so far, Alter Ego.
DJ and I are old friends. He used to watch me when I used to be on Twin Peaks Coffee Time.
Oh, really? I
Uh-huh.
still haven't seen that show.
Oh, it really has gone downhill
Really?
since I was on it. Yeah, I mean, James has tried to keep the show going, and it there for a while it was going good, but pretty much everybody that we all did the show together, there was four of us. It was me, James, Josh, and Voltaire. And Voltaire, Josh, and me all left. So now James is trying to find new people to be on the show, and he's just having a bit of a hard time with it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry about that.
So watch the old episodes.
Yeah, well, I think there's like a set out there. It's like the first two seasons, and I had it in my hands for like $30 at Barnes and Noble, but I'm like, I can wait a little bit. I
Yeah,
didn't
you
want
can probably get it on I think it's on Amazon. I know it's on Paramount Plus, or at least I think it is. Um and Showtime has season 3, so
to.
which
Okay.
I think is Paramount Plus as well. So you might be able to see all 3 seasons. Season 3 came out 25 years after season 2.
Did you like the revival?
I did. There's
Okay.
things about it that I would like to change. There's things about it that I didn't understand, and I'm still trying to piece it all together. But I still liked it. I enjoyed what I saw because I really love David Lynch and I love the way that he films things.
Mhm.
So for me, it was a piece of art. A 18 episode long piece of art, but it was a piece of art anyway. 18 hours because each episode was an hour long. So
Okay.
it was pretty cool. I was glad to see it come back, but it didn't come back the way that we all expected. And that was a little disappointing, but otherwise I really did like it.
That's cool. And by the way, we got Wild Man Beyond in here.
Hi.
Zach,
Hi.
4K Tent Revival.
Oh, hey Brad. That's Brad.
We're talking about Twin Peaks.
Yes, we're talking about Twin Peaks. Usually that's the first thing that comes up when I come on any show is Twin Peaks. And I'm sorry about that, but it
Oh,
is
no,
kind of
you're
my
good.
thing.
I was
It
going
is
to
my
ask
thing.
you. I was going to ask you real quick because this is the first time that we've gotten up. We were going to get up the last time, and coincidentally, we both got sick at the same time.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Yeah.
what happened.
I don't know. I have an illness called Hashimoto's disease. And what it is, it's an autoimmune disorder. So my immune system is already like constantly overworked.
Mhm.
So I expect that every Christmas season and every time I have to go like out of the house for any longer, than, a few hours period of time, I'm probably going to catch something. And that was right after Christmas. So I had just caught something being out and about in public. So, that's just the way it goes. And it
Oh,
takes
yeah.
me longer to get over something than most people. Sometimes the flu has almost killed me twice. I've
Oh,
ended up in the hospital twice with the flu because I would dehydrate to a point where I couldn't respond and I couldn't speak to my husband, and it freaked him out. So he took me to the hospital both those times.
oh, oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess I can ask a couple of like sample generic questions before anybody. I know we have a couple of people that are asking questions here. But what do you do on your channel? I mean, I kind of know what you do a little bit, but what do you like to talk about? What's your favorite genre for the people out there?
Horror. Horror is my favorite genre, but I actually have a lot of knowledge about a lot of movies, a lot of different kinds of movies and different genres, but I really focus on horror, but mostly not on my own channel yet because my own channel it's never really got off the ground like I wanted it to, mostly because when I started my channel, I also started to come out of remission of my illness, and because of my illness breaking me down a little bit, I've had a hard time motivating myself to do more content on my own channel. But I'm perfectly capable of doing it, and I want to do more reviews and talk about movies more often. It turns out mostly I do a lot of when I'm talking about movies, it's mostly live streams.
Mhm.
But I would like to make more pre-recorded stuff where I'm actually doing a scripted review of something I've seen. Um, and I also want to do sort of like kind of like video essay type uh videos, but I'm still trying to work that whole thing out. So
Okay.
my husband, he's pretty smart. He works with computers a lot. My son, he's very, very smart, works with computers a lot. So they're kind of helping me out in figuring this all out. So otherwise, what is on my channel right now is there's a lot of vlogging. I like to go hiking, and I spend most of my spring and summer in the woods. So a lot of my videos are me, walking around the woods, walking around the different um, trails and stuff in my area and showing off all the beauty that is around here, because I don't live when I tell people I live in New York, they're like, "Oh, city." And I'm like, "No, no, no, no. There
Mhm.
is a big state out there that has nothing to do with New York City or Buffalo or Albany or Rochester, And I pretty much live amongst the Amish, and like every day I see horse and buggy, sometimes get trapped behind them when I'm trying to drive, and that's really awful, and I hate that. But I respect the way they live, and it's kind of cool that I get to see that stuff all the time. And the area that I live in is beautiful. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous around here. 4 distinct seasons, at least usually. Right now is a little strange for some reason. It's almost 60 degrees, and I don't understand, because I live in the snow belt of New York, and usually we have snow until May. So
Yeah.
for me, it's really strange to be going through this climate change kind of thing, because I'm used to, having to have a 4-wheel drive car and having to have, super industrial boots to go out in the winter, and it really hasn't even been warm enough for me to pull out my good boots. So,
Mhm.
or
Yeah,
I mean, cold enough,
yeah, the
snowy
same
enough.
around here. I mean, like it hasn't snowed at all, and we're halfway through February, and that's unusual for North Carolina.
Yeah. Oh yeah, even down there. My brothers live in North Carolina,
Yeah,
They live in close to Raleigh, I think.
yeah. Rob, okay, that's an hour away from me.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
so
Yeah, they live down there, and I miss them. I wish they'd come up and visit me more often, but I get to talk to them on PS5 all the time. So,
but
um, anyway, to finish off what I was saying
oh
about
yeah,
my channel, the last thing that I have on my channel is I have some old karaoke's of me. I made videos to old recordings that I made before I got sick, because one of the other things that's happened to me because I've gotten sick is that it's a thyroid disorder. Okay, so I have these little bumps and tumors and whatever. They're not really tumors, but like, I don't know what you want to call them. They call them nodes on
lymph
my
nodes.
thyroid,
Okay.
and it's pushing on my vocal cords, and I can't sing the way I used to sing. So all of those recordings are from about 2010, 2011. I made them when I was doing MySpace karaoke back then,
Mhm.
back when MySpace was a thing, and I just recorded myself doing them. And I like listening to them, and I like putting them to I use them actually to learn how to edit videos. And so a lot of people were like focused on, "Oh, Jamie, she sings, she sings, she sings." I used to sing. I can't sing anymore without pain. So I I feel bad saying that, because I get a lot of people asking me to, come on their show and sing or sing for this or that. And I can't do it right now. And I don't even know if I'm ever going to be able to. Um, that band Oasis?
Yeah.
The lead singer, he has the same disease, and he can't sing anymore either.
Oh
So
wow, I didn't know. I wasn't aware of that.
yeah, yeah. It's actually a really common disorder among children whose parents fought in Vietnam. And my dad fought in Vietnam and got sprayed directly with Agent Orange. And a year later, he came home, and he was never well after that. And he got my mom pregnant with me, and I ended up later on in life having these symptoms. And Hashimoto's disease is the number one disease reported by children of Vietnam vets who got sprayed with Agent Orange.
Oh wow.
My brother has it too. So one of my brothers. I have 4 brothers.
I got 2, but I mean, I wasn't aware of that. I mean, that's interesting.
It is. It's also very maddening because I feel like what would my life have been like without that, you know? Like my whole life could have been totally different if I wouldn't have that disease. So I think my brother probably feels that same way. So.
Yeah. But what are your, like, I guess another question is, and we'll get to the chat in a minute, but what are some of your favorite movies?
Oh gosh. Okay. Xanadu, which is a movie from 1980 starring Olivia Newton-John, and it has some of the best music that, I mean, I love Electric Light Orchestra, and they did literally the entire album, and it is one of the best soundtracks ever, I think, in my opinion. And the movie was a flop, but the soundtrack won Grammys. So it's really, I like it because when it came out, I was about 8. And for me, it was, I wanted to be Olivia Newton-John so bad. So I literally, that movie is responsible for me not taking my skates off for like 3 summers straight. I would put my skates on, I just skate all summer. And also responsible for me, well, partially responsible for me going roller skating all the time, which I used to do quite often. But that's not all. That's not all the reason. My mom also was a competition roller skater, so I spent a lot of time there just because she was there practicing. So
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't tell a lot of people about that, but yeah, my mom did basically the same things that people do on ice skates, except on roller skates. So It's pretty cool.
You got any more favorites?
Yeah.
Okay, you're good.
I like David Lynch movies. So Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway, Wild at Heart, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, pretty much anything by David Lynch. Aside from Inland Empire, I want to like Inland Empire, but it is so ugly. It is one of the worst things. He shot the whole thing on an iPhone. I think he might actually have been the first person ever to shoot an entire movie on an iPhone. And I was shocked that he was doing that. But the way that he made it look, it's David Lynch. It looks good. It looks like David Lynch, but there's some things in it that are just so disturbing and so in your face ugly that I can't like it. I've tried.
Well,
Plus,
really,
it's hard to
the only
piece
David
together.
Lynch movie. I'm sorry, like I've only seen Blue Velvet, so I got a lot of catching up to do as far as Lynch.
Oh, Blue Velvet is so good. And if you like Blue Velvet, you're definitely going to like Lost Highway, and you're definitely going to like Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, and you're definitely going to like Mulholland Drive, because they all have a lot of similarities. Blue Velvet, though, is truly a masterpiece. It really is, to the point where it's inspired so many things that people don't even realize, like Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Silent Hill 2 literally has the scene where Jeffrey is in the closet. Silent Hill 2 has the exact same scene. You're in the closet behind the louver doors, and you're watching a horrific act happen in front of your eyes outside the door. I don't know if you've ever played Silent Hill 2 before.
No, I've never. Because I think I could be wrong too. Wasn't like Jacob's Ladder kind of an inspiration for that too?
That was also an inspiration for it. Yeah. A big inspiration, and especially in Silent Hill 3, which pretty much has a lot of the same environments. You have to even go through a subway and stuff. So it really reminds me a lot of that. I also like, I like Kubrick. So I like The Shining. I like Eyes Wide Shut a lot. I like 2001, and I like Lolita a lot. As far as like anything outside of those two directors as a favorite, I don't know. It's kind of pulling at straws for me because I like so many things and have watched so many things over and over and over again that I don't know. I have a hard time picking a favorite of things, you know?
Yeah.
So, um, I guess I don't really have like, I guess
Mount-
David Lynch
Like a
and
Mount
Kubrick
Rushmore.
would be in my, they're all their movies would be in like my top 10 and top 20, you know?
Well, I guess we
I
could
like
take.
Spielberg too.
Yeah, because Jaws is my number one favorite. Uh,
Yes.
that's like if I had a Mount Rushmore, that would definitely be on there.
Jaws is the reason I'm here. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Jaws because my parents, when I was 3 years old, they wanted to go see Jaws and they figured that I would fall asleep during the first movie. Well, I knew Jaws was coming on and I had seen those commercials on TV. And even at 3 years old, I was a stubborn child, you know, and I was smart too. And they had told me, you know, that TV and movies weren't real. So I wasn't scared. I didn't think that I was going to be scared of anything. And I literally wasn't. So when the part comes up where the shark comes up and bites the boat in half and pulls it under the water, and then Quint gets it. My parents are trying to cover my eyes as I'm in the back seat, and I'm going like this, you know, saying, "Hey, I want to see what's going on and everything." And after it was all done, I saw the whole thing, and then after it was all done, my parents turned to me and they said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I'm fine." And they're like, "Well, we thought this would scare you." And I said, "But you said it isn't real." And as long as I figured that it wasn't real, it was okay. So I always gravitated towards darker things because I knew that stuff wasn't real.
Yeah.
You know? So Jaws is the reason I'm here. If I never would have saw that movie, I might not have became such a movie fan. But the reason I am a movie fan is literally because of how that movie affected me at 3 years old. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, that somebody could make a movie, you know, with a shark like that and make it look so real, and it wasn't real. And that fascinated me. And I've loved movies ever since.
That's a classic. And there's a convention coming up in July in Raleigh, and Richard Dreyfuss is going to be there. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping to go. I'll go just for him. Um,
He was at Scarefest, but I didn't go in his line. He was there, but I didn't go in his line.
but I guess we could take some questions from the chat. I know some people have been asking questions.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We should be paying attention to them.
Oh,
Sorry, guys.
this is the first time we're talking, so we're just kind of like, getting the banter here.
Right.
Cobra Kai, do you watch that?
I have watched a few episodes, but it didn't capture my interest like I thought it would. I really did enjoy seeing Ralph Macchio on the screen again, though. I just absolutely loved him as a teenager, and my walls were plastered with posters of him out of Teen Beat magazine. So, yeah, I really, really like him, and I know it's a good show, and I might actually one day sit down and watch it. But at this point, I haven't really done that. But I do want to, and I was a fan of The Karate Kid, of course. Saw them all in the theater.
I've only seen the first Conjuring, so I think maybe you've seen all of them, so you can elaborate on that one.
I don't think I have seen The Conjuring 4 yet. I saw 1 and 2, and I think I saw 3. 3 is the one with the girl in the wheelchair, right? Have you seen?
No, I've only seen the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen the first 3. I don't think I saw 4, but that's on my list, so I will eventually. So it's not as easy for me to see movies right now like it used to be back in the old days when I had cable, because then I just would watch like HBO, Showtime, and the movie channel, Stars. I had them all because my cousin worked at the cable company.
Yeah.
So she got me a deal, and I had literally like 30 movie stations. So I never watched network TV. When people asked me about Breaking Bad, that people were shocked because I didn't watch Breaking Bad until 2019.
Wow.
Because I wasn't paying attention. I was so into movies that I just didn't pay attention to TV shows like that. But I have since watched it, and wow, what a masterpiece. That was an awesome show.
Well, if you like that, you might like Better Call Saul.
I do like Better Call Saul. I've seen a few episodes of that. I also didn't get into that like I wanted to. There's been a lot of things that haven't been able to happen in the last 2 or 3 years that I wanted to happen. I will sit down and eventually watch it though.
There's a good one. Horror movies that legit scared you.
The Manitou.
Okay. Never
Have
heard
you
of
seen?
that one.
Oh, okay. So this movie is about a Indian demon god. They summon this Indian demon, and he's this tiny little, like, he looks like a tiki. He's like this big, but he comes out of this woman's back. And that's all I can really remember of it, because that was the part that affected me so bad that I never watched the whole thing ever. I
When
might
did
have
this
watched the
come
whole
out?
movie once.
When did it come
What?
out again? What year?
Oh, this would have been probably late 70s. It's like a 70s, early 80s movie. The Manitou. It's absolutely terrifying.
How do you
Uh,
spell it?
Manitou. M-A.
I'm trying to find. Okay, wait.
Wait,
I see
M-A.
it. 1978.
Yes, that's it. Yes, my mom was watching that one night, and I came out for a drink of water. And that particular part where this little demon was coming out of her back was on at the time, and it terrified me and traumatized me. And because of that, I think I only ever dared to watch that entire movie one time when I was probably about, I'm guessing 11 or 12. I probably I'm pretty sure I sat down and watched the whole thing. I don't remember anything about it though. I just remember feeling like, you know, I don't want to ever do it again. You know, another movie that genuinely scared me is Hereditary. I guess in a different kind of way. That one scared me more because of the family dynamic in it. Is terrifying to me. This
Yeah.
idea that, you know, trauma gets passed down through the generations, and you can pass it down to your children. And I mean, I understand that there's this whole aspect, you know, supernatural aspect to it, but when you really boil it down, what the movie really is about families, you know, families that have a lot of trauma.
Yeah. I still haven't seen that one either.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. You'll be shocked.
This is a movie that you can't just watch one time. You have to watch it more than once, because the first time you watch it, you're not going to see everything. The second and third time you watch it, start looking around in the background, because then you're going to start seeing stuff that you didn't see before. It's the same thing with Midsummer. If
Yeah.
you've never seen Midsummer,
Nope.
watch it and then watch it a couple more times after, and look at the background. Pay attention to the very beginning of the movie, because they literally tell you the entire plot of the movie before the movie even starts. It's crazy, but you don't know that until after, you know?
Yeah. The only thing I know about those movies, they were made by A24, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I
so,
do like A24 movies a lot.
yeah, I think I'm trying to think the only ones that I've seen. Well, X, I've seen that one. Uncut Gems, I've seen.
I still have not seen that. I have it, and I should watch it one of these nights.
I still want to watch the Iron Claw. I'm kind of waiting for it to like come out on streaming or something.
I don't. The Iron Claw.
Yeah, it's a drama. It's like kind of like The Wrestler.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a wrestling drama biopic.
Yeah, there's a few I haven't seen. Like I haven't seen The Lighthouse yet,
I
which
haven't.
is
Yeah, I've
another.
heard about it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, A24 seems to be killing it. I think they're crushing it, because they seem to be putting out the movies that I like the most. So
Yeah, I mean, at least you could. Like, I haven't seen Beau is Afraid. To be
I haven't
honest,
seen that one yet either.
I'm in no hurry to watch it.
I heard it's scary.
I've heard it's weird.
I like weird.
I mean, I like weird too, but I don't know. Just something about it. Stuff I've heard. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can let me know how it is.
I will.
Okay. Do you
I'm
like
gonna
Tony
maybe
Scott?
I'll make a review video or something. Do I like Tony Scott? Yes, he did True Romance, right? Which I have right here.
Great movie.
Yes, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love the cast. The acting is incredible. Has one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in any movie. I just, every single time I watch that scene, I watch it with my mouth open. You know, my mouth hits the floor because I'm just so floored at how she takes all that from Mr. Soprano guy. And he kicks her butt, but she kicks his butt just as bad. And she tells him he looks ridiculous. I love it. I love it so much.
I was at FYE Thursday or something like that, and I had the True Romance. I don't know if it's like the 4K or the 4K Ultra HD.
Oh, it's worth
it. Has
it.
like a booklet with it, and I'm like, I gotta wait. I can't be spending a bunch of money right now.
I actually don't know. Yeah, this is actually a Warner Brothers release. This was a gift, so I didn't know where it came from. But my husband got me this for Christmas a couple years back. And I thought it was the Scream Factory, but it's not. It's the WB release.
They have to have the DVD. I would like to upgrade, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is also the director's cut, which I think is a better version. So upgrading is so worth it sometimes. I've been slowly upgrading my stuff to Blu-ray and DVD off of DVD, and then slowly I've been accumulating 4Ks, but I don't have a 4K TV yet, so it doesn't make sense for me to have them. But I will get a 4K TV probably this spring. So I think that's the plan.
Yeah, I'm trying to upgrade, but I'm trying not to buy too much, and because I know I'm going to be spending some money next weekend, so I'm trying to like hold back a little bit.
Yeah, I was like, I limited myself. There was a big sale the other day at Hamilton Books, and I limited myself to $100. I said I'm going to spend $100, and I got so much for $100. I was shocked. Everything was like $5.
Oh wow!
$5, $6, $7 for DVD or for Blu-rays, and I was just like, I'm killing it. You know, I filled the cart with a bunch of stuff, and then I just weeded through and took out what I didn't think was totally necessary until I hit $100. And then, yeah. My husband's proud of me.
Hey, I mean, you get to grow, your collection.
Yeah, I showed self-control.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Let me see. Dang, is there any? Oh, Near Dark.
I love that movie. I have I don't have an official copy. I actually have a bootleg of that I got at Scarefest 2 years ago.
Okay.
But I love it. It's a really good transfer. It looks really good.
I have to admit, I've never seen it.
Oh my gosh. You have to see it. You have to see it. It's the best vampire Western ever. I mean, Vampires is good. John Carpenter's Vampires is good. If you've never seen that, you got to see that one too.
Yeah, I've seen that, but it's been some years.
It has a lot of similarities to it. But the difference is these people don't grow teeth. They're not the typical vampire. Mm-hmm. They're just totally different. And boy, are they vicious. Bill Paxton is one vicious person in that movie. I love it. It's so good. And it's a love story.
Yeah, directed by Catherine Bigelow, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's super good. I like that movie a lot.
And I have it on Blu-ray. I just, among with other Blu-rays that I haven't seen yet, so maybe I can add that to my list. Hey, Gabbo. Stranger Things.
I love Stranger Things. I've seen every season of that. I'm looking forward to season 5.
I haven't seen one episode.
Oh. First of all, the first season is more like, it's kid-like, kind of has an E.T. feel to it.
Yeah.
But each season gets darker. And by the time you get to season 4, it's like Nightmare on Elm Street. So you're in for a ride. I say start it as soon as you can.
All right.
That is one heck of a roller coaster show. And I fell in love with it, especially when you get to season 2. All the characters are fantastic. The kids are awesome. And I love anything that Winona Ryder does. So,
Well,
yeah.
speaking of her, I mean, I know they're coming out with Beetlejuice 2 this year. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, do you
I'm
look
looking
forward
forward
to it?
to it.
Okay.
I saw the original Beetlejuice in the theater when I was 15 when it came out.
Oh, wow.
And I really enjoy that movie. I think it's hilarious. It does disturb. It always disturbed me that Beetlejuice wants to marry Lydia because she's a kid in that movie.
And apparently in the sequel too, he still wants to marry. That's what I kind of read of the synopsis for the sequel.
If he still wants to marry Lydia as an adult, I guess I'm okay with that. But
Yeah.
as a kid, it was kind of disturbing because I was like, wow, that's really kind of messed up. But as a kid at that age, I wasn't really thinking about that too much because back then it wasn't really, I don't know, people didn't focus on everything that's wrong all the time, and
Exactly.
yeah. So I enjoyed it for what it is. And I can't, every single time his head comes off and it spins around and he goes, don't you hate when that happens? I bust up cracking up because that's so funny to me for some reason. And I hope they do something similar in this one because I love that joke so much. It's the one that makes me cry every time I watch it.
Let me see.
I'm also looking forward to the new Ghostbusters movie. I saw the trailer for that and wow. I mean, I got tears in my eyes. Now I am a geek. I am a nerd. And when I went and saw the last one, when I went and saw the last one, I cried because it was so emotional for me to see all of them together again, even though Egon really wasn't there per se. Just seeing that was so emotional for me because one of Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters, represents freedom to me in a lot of ways because that was the first summer that I ever went on a trip away from home. And I went and I stayed with my best friend Hope in Bradford, Pennsylvania for 2 months throughout that summer. And we went and saw Ghostbusters with her sister. And that was really kind of the first time that I didn't go to a movie with my mom,
Yeah.
So it meant something to me. And I kind of feel like that whole movie represents the start of my independence from my parents. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
I wish I could have seen that in the theater.
It was so good. And it was so good. I loved it. I loved it a lot.
Do you think this new one could be maybe better or than what we got, like the Ghostbusters after?
From the trailer that I saw, I think it looks like it's going to be better. I don't know where they're going to go with the story, but I'm interested because all of them are coming back.
I almost forgot the name of the 2021. It's called Afterlife. This one's Frozen
Afterlife.
Empire. Yeah.
Afterlife. I really like the fact that Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Ernie Hudson are coming back.
Yeah.
And I liked seeing them in their costumes, and I liked knowing that they're actually going to be part of the fight. So I'm pretty excited for it.
And it seems they have a little bit more to do.
Yeah.
From the trailer.
Yeah. And it looks like Paul Rudd gets to be a Ghostbuster, and I am so happy for him because he has to be ecstatic about that. I mean, I guarantee you Paul Rudd grew up, watching Ghostbusters like the rest of us. And that's got to be like so exciting for him.
Yeah, we're just missing Rick Moranis.
Is he going to be in it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, darn. He was going to come back to the world of acting, and then he got, jumped there early in the morning that time, and that was it for him. He probably won't ever come back now.
Yeah, because I think he was getting ready to shoot a new Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie.
Yeah.
And then they did a commercial for the Mint mobile phone. And then he got jumped in New York City, and he's like, maybe it's time to, stop altogether. And I can't blame him.
I don't either. I mean, that was literally, if you see the video footage, that was literally for no reason at all. And I can't understand people. I don't understand that. Don't just attack someone just because they're smaller than you. That's just absolutely disgusting. Yeah, people right now need to get their crap together. I'll tell you what. Yeah. People are acting disgusting everywhere.
Man, it's worse on social media.
Yep.
Yeah, I did hear about this. Did you hear about they're doing a new Predator movie called Badlands?
No, I didn't, but I'm excited for it. I actually really liked the last one that came out with uh what's his name?
What, the director?
Brody. Adam, no,
Oh,
not
Adrian
Adam
Brody?
Brody. Adrian Brody. Yeah, I liked that one a lot. I thought it was a good movie, and I watched it several times when it was on HBO. So I liked it.
I haven't seen Prey. I wasn't too big on Predators and the Predator. I don't. They haven't really given out a lot of information with this new one, but I'm going to speculate that it could be like, I don't know, with a title like that. What do you think?
I don't know. I haven't seen Prey yet. So I guess I'm still a little behind.
Yeah,
Um, I don't remember what was the Predator. Who was
the
that's not
Predator.
the
That's the one with Boyd Holbrook, and I've only seen it once, and I try to block it out of my memory. Uh, I know Thomas Jane is in that.
I like him. I'm gonna have to look that one up because I don't think I've seen that, and I don't let Predator movies get by me usually. I actually, I really like Predator movies, and I even like the Alien versus Predator movies a lot. I
And
think they don't get enough credit. I think that people, crap all over them, and I'm not so sure that everything that people crap all over always deserves it.
I will say, compared to the later Predator movies, I'll lay off AVP because I tend, maybe I could watch it now. It's like an okay time waster. I did see it in a theater when it came out. I believe it was like August of '04.
Gosh,
Does
was
that
it
sound
that
about right?
long ago? Holy
Yeah.
crap. Wow. Time flies. Can't believe
Yeah.
it. That's 20 years ago.
Yeah. I'm like, what? Because, well, yeah, another film that's turning 20 this year, Napoleon Dynamite, which I don't know if you like that, but
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I have a special edition of that one with it's like a locker. It's I
it's
love
it.
it. It's so cool.
Um,
I love that movie like so much. I've seen that movie hundreds of times. Um I do have a love for comedies, but it's rare that I like anything that's romance related. I
yeah.
cannot stand romance movies unless there's a good reason for them. Like stuff like Love Actually, you wouldn't catch me in a million years watching that crap. I just, I don't know. If they're
Ghost?
funny, I like
Ghost?
them.
You like Ghost?
Ghost is cheesy.
What?
I like the movie. I just, it's not like if I see it on, I'm not going to turn to it. It's just,
Cheesy.
yeah.
Come
It
on.
well, it
It's Swayze.
yeah, it's like it belongs. I don't know. Dan, how you doing,
Star,
buddy?
Starman. What about Starman? That's a good one.
Starman's awesome, and I haven't seen that in years, and I'd like to see that again because isn't that a John Carpenter movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really remember liking that one, and I haven't seen that since I was young. So,
Oh no, I'm just being tongue in cheek. I'm messing with Jamie here.
oh yeah, he's. I don't take it serious.
No.
I'm sure he doesn't take mine serious either. I mean, I really don't like rom coms, but there are a few I like. Every once in a while, the one will come out that interests me, but more than likely, I'm going to go see a horror movie or an action movie or a comedy movie over those. So,
Okay. Um, I mean, I'm trying to see if there's any more questions. I mean, do you see any questions that jump out at you or
um,
comments?
let me see.
Feel free. Hey to Daniel. Welcome to the
Hey,
chat.
Dan. Yeah, I said hi to him. Dan's my old buddy. Dan the Hat Man.
I think we got like 12 people watching, so feel free to throw questions at us.
Yeah, please do.
Yep, Spider-Man 2 turns 20, which is hard to believe.
Oh my gosh. That is unbelievable. I am so old now. I can't even believe it. I remember I used to think, God, 50 is so far away. And now I'm 50.
You're not that old.
I am. I'm 50.
That's not old.
Yeah, it isn't anymore. I used to think that it was super old. I mean, I don't look at all like my mom looked at 50. My mom at 50 looked way worse than what I do. And no offense to my mother, may she rest in peace. But, you know, I definitely think that there's something that happened, like maybe prenatal vitamins or
Mhm.
something has made it so that our generation actually looks younger for longer. I think everybody in our generation doesn't look their age. It's
Yeah.
kind of amazing.
Anime. Do you watch anime?
I don't. I do like stuff like Spirited Away. Gosh, it's been a long time since I watched anything. I try to stay away from animated stuff because,
Yeah.
see, I am a mom and I had to, pretty much watch nothing but cartoons for about 15 straight years while my kid was growing up. So I kind of avoid all animated films and I avoid anything that's kid related because I feel like I got super saturated with that stuff when he was young. Because all I could watch was, stuff that was appropriate. So
Yeah.
I kind of got sick of it. And then once I got to an age, or he got to an age where, it didn't matter as much anymore, then I was like, I am never watching another cartoon again in my life. I might not stick to that though if something worthwhile comes out.
Yeah, I'm not really into anime a lot. I mean, back when like Pokemon was a hot thing, but that's kind of it. Like I kind of got away from it.
Yeah, Pokemon was a generation, my brother's thing. I was too old for that. So
Yeah.
I never got into Pokemon.
Uh,
Yes. Oh my goodness, yes. Right now I'm in the middle of playing Control. It's my favorite game. I still love Silent Hill 2 with all my heart. They better not screw this remake up. If they do, I'm going to be very angry. Um, I like Alan Wake. I've been playing Alan Wake 2. Um, oh gosh, I like Resident Evil. All of the Resident Evil games are good. Especially though, I really liked 7. It was terrifying. That is the scariest game. And still, when I play it, I get really nervous and I'll like hide in a corner for a long time because I'm afraid to come out. Um, but I do love that game so much. And yeah, pretty much. I like video games depending on what they are. Sometimes my husband and I, if we're bored, we'll play Mortal Kombat and, we'll kick each other's butt that way. And it's kind of fun.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I don't really play a lot of games that are like, I don't play like Call of Duty or anything war related or space related.
Yeah.
Um, just pretty much horror games and story intensive games. I do like Psychonauts as well, especially Psychonauts 2, because I mean, come on, Jack Black doing a musical number in the middle of the game is fantastic. It's awesome. And I love Elijah Wood and he does characters in that game too.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I did some playthroughs recently, but there's not a lot of feedback that I get on playthroughs, and I understand. I mean, I'm more of like the movie reviewer, or that's what people watch the most, and so maybe I'll come back to it at some point.
You were asking me about how to stream, right through.
Yeah.
Well, all you really do is it's in the settings and you just go into the settings and you make it set up so that your PS5 account is attached to your YouTube account. And then there's a little button at the bottom that looks like a little, broadcast thing. And when you click that, you just it'll tell you to fill out the name of your video and everything. And then you just click start and it just goes. So
Okay.
it's just a connection between the two, pretty much.
Well, all I have is a PS4, and I think
PS4 does the same thing.
same thing. Okay.
Yep. Same way. I used to do it on the PS4 all the time before I got the 5. So, and I just got the 5 for Christmas. So I wasn't expecting that. That was a big surprise. All of a sudden, my husband and my son bring this box in and it's huge. And they're like, this is for you. And I was like, what? What is this? And I opened it up and oh man, I felt like a kid. I felt like a kid on Christmas because that's exactly what it was like. I was so excited to get it. And then I played it all day long.
Yeah, I want to get
It
a
was a good
PS5.
Christmas. Huh?
I said I want to get one too, but I'm trying to wait for the price to go down.
Yeah, they're really expensive, especially if you get the one with the disc player, which I made sure that I got one with a disc player. Not that, it isn't really about the physical media games. It's more about I need something to play. I want something to play movies in. And I actually think that PlayStation having their system set up the way they do, it's genius because you can get all your TV, all your movies, all your streaming, all your gameplay, and you can watch home, everything you have in your house right there in one unit. And I just think that's genius. It replaces all the other little things that we always had.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, one day I still want it for old time's sake. Just want to get a PlayStation 2 again, just to have one.
I missed out on that whole PlayStation 2 era, and I'm sad about that because I really wish that I would have had a PlayStation 2. I still have my PlayStation 1. It's barely used and sitting in a box, but I never had a 2, and I really wish that I would have because I think that was probably the best game era.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Uh, what are your thoughts on Family Guy turning 25? Are you a fan of the show or?
I know of the show. I don't think I've ever once in my entire life sat down and watched an episode of Family Guy though. I'm not a big Simpsons fan. um I just I don't know, I just never really got into the animated shows all that much. Beavis and Butthead, yes, definitely. I watched Beavis and Butthead and Aeon Flux and Daria. Um but other than that, and South Park. I love South Park. But other than that, I really don't get into a lot of animated stuff.
Yeah, same here. I never really got. I had relatives that were into the Simpsons when they were really, on, going on back then. I never really got into them. I mean, I don't hate the Simpsons or Family Guy, but I just never really got into those shows.
Yeah, I couldn't because of my age. It was a particular time in my life that show started, and I was too busy. I was cheerleading. I was going to sports games. I was going out with my boyfriend. I was just living life, and I just didn't watch TV for a long, long period of time there, between probably 88 and I don't know 94. I really
Mhm.
didn't watch a whole lot of stuff on TV.
The
I
only
was working.
yeah,
You know.
the only thing I remember of the Simpsons, there was like a Nintendo game back in the day, and I forgot what it was called. Gosh, what was it? Somebody in the chat help me out. There was a Simpsons game for NES.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it. I remember the commercials on TV.
And there was a commercial for like Butterfinger BBs. They would have Bart Simpson
Yes.
commercials. Yeah.
I remember those. Yeah. Butterfinger BBs. Oh my gosh. They still have those?
No, I don't think so.
I would eat the crap out of that right now. I really love Butterfingers.
But they just discontinued Zebra Stripes.
Oh, I hate when they discontinue things I like.
Oh, so you like Zebra Stripes? The 5 seconds of flavor that you get?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about how when I was a little kid, I would get that gum, and I would just sit there and chew it an entire pack in like 25 minutes or so. And my mom would be like, "Why do you buy that gum? You just chew it for 5 seconds and you spit it out." And I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. But
It's
I
like
just used to like it.
my brother used to buy the bubble tape gum. I don't know if they still have that or not. He would just take the whole thing, put it in his mouth, and I'm
That's
like, why?
crazy. Yeah, I remember they used to have gum in a tube, like a toothpaste tube when I was a little kid. And it was like a big fad thing going on at the time. And that Christmas came and my brother and my cousin were getting into their stocking at my grandma's house, and they pull out, a tube like that, and they open it up and they just start squirting it at their mouth. They didn't realize that it was hair gel.
Wow.
So it wasn't even the gum they were hoping, and they never forgot that. They still talk about that to this day, how they poison themselves.
I wonder how that tastes.
Oh yeah, well, probably not too good. I just sat there. I knew what they were doing because I read the things. I'm not stupid. I read, and I watched them. I didn't say a word. I just let it happen.
Yeah.
just let it happen.
That's a good question.
Um, I don't know because see, everybody is so like, I want to scream seven, I want to scream seven, I want to scream seven. The thing is, I'm not the kind of watcher that goes around saying, I want another one, I want another one, I want another one. Because it's not my place. My place is to watch what they give me and then review it and say whether I like it or not. My place isn't to tell the people, in the suits, hey, I want another one of these. Because I honestly think that everything needs to end eventually.
Yeah.
This is why I am a huge fan of Halloween Ends, and most people weren't. I wanted that. I loved seeing Michael get put in that grinder, and he ain't coming back from that. He'd have to be a deadite to come back from that. So there is no way he's coming back. And I was thrilled about that because, see, at my age, I watched every single Halloween movie come out in real time. When it got to 4, I was excited to go. I went to the movie theater to see 4. I left there upset. I hated it. I hated I liked certain characters. I liked Rachel. I liked Jamie's character. But when it came down to like the actual like movie itself, I just didn't enjoy myself. That mask was so upsetting and distracting. And that's all my friends and I would talk about, for a long time, was how horrible that mask was. And then they came out with another one, and I went to see that one, and I felt like, this is fucking pointless. Excuse my French. This is pointless. I don't understand. Then they start putting this whole like Thorn trilogy thing in, and then when it gets to 6, they pick Paul Rudd, which I had just seen Clueless, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? Paul Rudd does not belong here. This is wrong. And I remember looking at my husband and going, this is weird, because what is he doing in this movie? And then I was upset because they made it so that, Michael was the father of this baby. And I was like, this is sick, So I just don't get into the Thorn trilogy. When Halloween H2O came out, now listen, I've seen literally every single Halloween movie on a big screen, every single one of them. Mm-hmm. So for me, I'll go no matter what. Even if I think I'm going to hate the movie, I'm going to go because it's tradition for me. So I saw H2O in the theater. I loved H2O. Actually, I did miss one. I didn't see Resurrection in the theater. And that I had a good reason for that, because I was pregnant and I wasn't going to sit in them chairs. There was no way I could sit long enough to watch a movie in a movie theater when I was pregnant, especially at that time, because I was close and it wasn't what I wanted to do. So I did miss that one in the theater, but that's okay, because it's Resurrection, right? Who cares?
Yeah,
but I do enjoy Resurrection. I think it's fun. I think it's a good ride. I don't take it seriously at all. I don't take Busta Rhymes seriously at all. Mm-hmm. I think he's awesome and he's funny, and I love that he does karate to Michael, and I love the way he talks to Michael. He yells at Michael, and Michael's like almost stunned, like somebody's talking to him like that, and he's looking at his own face, right? So that had to freak him out. I enjoy that. I like that. I thought that was kind of funny. So for me, I was really happy when Halloween Ends came out, because I was like, this is finally something I want. I wanted to see it end. I want to see people stop asking for more, because if we keep on asking for more of these movies, we're never going to get anything fresh. We're never going to get anything new. It's going to be the same formula over and over and over again, because the suits won't take risks unless you push them to. They don't take risks because they don't want to mess up their honeypot. So they don't take risks. And that's why we keep getting these, repeats, reboots, redos, remakes, everything. And I'm just tired. I'm tired of it. I want something fresh. And that's why I liked Hellfest a lot, because Hellfest was different. Hellfest was fresh. I found it by accident. I was just flipping channels one night and I see this movie's coming on called Hellfest. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll stay here and see what it's all about. And I had no idea what, I was getting into. And by the end of that movie, I was thrilled. I was super excited. And I couldn't believe that a movie like that had got by me and I didn't see it in the theater. I was very upset about that.
Yeah, that
Because I
kind
liked
of.
that in the theater.
Well, recently I just watched for the first time Get Out, and I'm like, this is really good. Then I
That is
watched
good.
The Nope. I watched that. I'm like, I like that. So I'm like, why can we get more movies like that?
Right.
And I've seen Scream 5 and 6. I thought 6 was a little bit better, but
I did too.
I mean, with 7, I mean, a lot of the cast is out. I mean, what are they
Yeah.
going to do? Are they going to give all that money now to Nev Campbell? And
That's everybody keeps talking about her coming back, but as far as I knew, she didn't want to. And I actually didn't blame her. And I want people to quit harassing her about it because, as an actress, maybe she's just tired of doing that same thing. Maybe she wants to do something different. Maybe she doesn't feel like doing the Scream movies anymore, and for people to constantly be, in denial about that and saying, oh, no, I refuse to listen to that. I refuse to, we're going to get Nev. She wants to come back. We're going to get Nev. I'm just like, how do you, I can't understand it because it doesn't take her feelings into consideration,
yeah.
And I'm the kind of person who looks at everything from the middle, so I'm able to see why they want it and why she doesn't want it. You know what I mean? And for me, I'm more like, hey, if she doesn't want to do it, don't make her do it.
What do you think of the rumors about bringing Stu back?
I would like that if they did it right. Now, if Nev was going to come back, I would say it'd be really cool to see her and Stu in a final battle. Stu has to have a messed up looking face though, because there's no way that he's going to, if he lived through that, his face is not going to be right. He's going to look like Freddy. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I kind of like that idea a little bit. But it kind of also makes it seem like, James Bond supervillain.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of like just flying by the seat of my pants when it comes to Scream because I don't really care if they give me something new or not. I don't care if they do a 7 or not. If they do, I'll watch it. I'll tell you what I think about it. But if they don't, I'm not going to sweat it. It doesn't bother me.
And I think Wildman puts it perfectly here. For
no more Screams, please.
No more Screams, yeah.
I'm like, no more Screams, no more Halloweens, no more Friday the 13th. I just want all of the old characters to rest for a while. Maybe in 20 years, they can start bringing them out again, like we did with Frankenstein and Dracula and everything. But I mean, we got to find some new monsters because this is just, it's ridiculous that we keep going to the same ones that don't even fit in these times, to be honest. Because the fears that created the monsters from the 80s were all related to Cold War stuff and, things that we don't even go through anymore. So I just think it's weird that people are so attached to these characters that they'll suck them completely dry.
Yeah.
I just think that's a shame.
Yeah, I look at a horror movie. Well, I don't know if you would. Do you call Get Out a horror movie?
Get Out is a thriller with horror elements. It's definitely terrifying. It scared me. The whole idea of the teacup scared me to death because, first of all, psychology is a big interest of mine, and I took a lot of psych in college, so I totally understand, the mind meld or the mind trick that can happen if somebody is doing something like that. And to be honest, a very large chunk of the population is hypnotizable. There's a very small chunk of the population that isn't. So it was believable to me. It felt real. And I love that when she goes sink. It was just awesome. The acting is great. It makes me angry, which it's supposed to do. It makes me angry at my own kind because, I don't really like this whole. There are some people out there who are doing good just to get the credit, right? And that's kind of what those people are like. They act like they're so liberal and so, woke or whatever. And I hate using that word. Word is banned from my channel because there's a whole story behind that, but I hate that word. But I understand its use, so I'm using it here. I forgot where it's going.
Even hypnotized.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So my opinion is like the fact that that family was like that and they were fake, it bothers me for a lot of reasons. One is that there are truly people out there like that. Two, most liberals aren't like that. And I hate that they're portraying it as if, liberals are trying to steal something from some other culture. I don't really get that at all, but I'm not Jordan Peele, he has his own experiences that he threw into the plot. So I'm sympathetic and I'm empathetic about it, but I also see problems in how the portrayal of, us white people, is in there. Cause I feel like I'm a liberal and I don't really relate to that whole fake thing that was going on in that. I haven't seen Us yet, and I haven't seen Nope yet, which I want to see Nope. I want to see Us. I think they're worth watching, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
Yeah, I look at a movie like Get Out, I'm like, I wish that there was a lot more horror movies kind of like that, like this very unsettling vibe throughout the movie, kind of like Twilight Zone-ish.
Yes.
And just, you're very unsure of what's going to happen next.
Yeah, it was I felt like it was a thriller,
Yeah.
Kind of along the lines of like
psychological
Lynch feel, really.
Yeah.
Jordan Peele has you can definitely see there's some Lynch influence in the way that he made that movie. Because
you could probably say a little bit of Kubrick too.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, I really like the way Jordan Peele films things too. I think he's got a great eye for photography. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Did you see Megan? Well, man,
I haven't yet. I will. I guess I don't know why I didn't go to the theater to see it. I really should have. But I'm not a big fan of like Chucky.
What? Come on.
I know. Well, here's the thing. Child's Play never scared me. And I was 15 when Child's Play came out. I went to the theater to see it just like everybody else did. And it was like just a movie to me. I wasn't scared of a doll, even if it had Brad Dourif's voice, I just wasn't scared of it. So for me, it was more of a, cheeky entertainment type of movie. And I went and saw, Child's Play 2 at the theater. I don't think I saw Bride at the theater. Bride is my favorite of the series. I really love that one. I absolutely think it's hilarious and probably the most entertaining of them all. I accidentally bought the remake and I thought I had got the original, and I got home and I opened it and I'm like, oh crap, this is not the original. This is a remake. And I was like, shoot. But I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to watch it and see what I think. And I loved it. I mean, I was like floored because it felt more adult to me. It felt like it had more of an adult message. And I didn't feel like the Child's Play message in the original was scary. So I really did enjoy it. And I thought Mark Hamill doing the voice was brilliant. I mean, he was so good. And I love him as the Joker too. So
yeah, I like the remake. I mean, I much prefer the original, but I thought the remake was solid.
It is. I think it's a really good movie. And I kind of think Megan is going to be along the same lines. Have you seen Megan?
Yeah, I haven't seen Megan yet.
No. Yeah, I really want to see it, but I just haven't got around to it yet. And I don't have a copy of it in my collection.
This comment here.
No shirt. House. That's hilarious. I can't imagine Chucky scaring me like that. I don't get it. But that's funny. I think my brother probably my little brother was probably more scared of Chucky than I was. I remember him being a little bit freaked out by it, but I just didn't. It was I don't know. I was too old. Had my Cabbage Patch doll, didn't for me.
What's your favorite horror villain?
Oh, um, hmm. I think my favorite. I don't know because it's conflicting for me because I really like Catwoman, but I'm not really sure she's a total villain, right?
Right.
She has an empathetic side to her. But they all kind of do. All their origin stories have an empathetic side, even the villains. So I don't know. I kind of like her because Michelle Pfeiffer is such a badass in that movie, and I love her outfit. And I don't know, she's one of my favoriteest villains in any movie.
Oh, I meant like horror villain, like Freddy, Jason.
Oh,
Oh, my bad. Are you good?
um, um, I don't know. Horror is subjective, right? So I don't know. Batman isn't really horror, but it kind of has this. It has the same kind of feel.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I saw it like that. Hmm.
I'll go with
I
Jason.
guess I'm gonna have to go. I guess I'm gonna have to go with Freddy because he's witty, he's funny, um, he's got style.
That's right.
um, Otherwise, it would. I guess it would have to be Freddy. I do like Jason an awful lot too, but he also is a sympathetic story. So, I mean, I guess you could say Freddy has a sympathetic story as well. I mean, being burned to death can't be no picnic, right? But he's still bad. He was a bad person. So, um, but he's got the best attitude out of all of them. So I actually think Freddy.
Did
So,
you hear about this fan made like Jason film, but it's in Jason's point of view? I forgot the name of it, but there's like a teaser out.
no, I haven't heard about it, but that sounds right up my alley.
Trying to find the name of it. Dang it. Maybe somebody in the chat knows.
Anybody in the chat know the name of that?
Yeah, because I'm trying to find it. I saw it, but it doesn't reveal much.
It's a fan film, you said?
Yeah, it's a fan film, and it's going to be filmed in Jason's point of view.
That's awesome.
What's the name of it? It's not Never Heck Alone.
Now I watched those.
I haven't seen them. Is it good? Are they
Oh
good?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. All of the Halloween ones I've watched have been pretty good too.
Okay,
I've
I've
watched a
never
few of
seen.
those.
I need to watch Never Hike Alone. Damn it, I can't find it. I'm looking.
When you do, you can always send me the thing
Okay.
on Instagram or whatever.
And I saw the teaser for this movie called Long Legs. Nicolas Cage is doing a horror movie. Have you seen it?
I have not seen the trailer. I've heard a little bit about it. Anything Nicolas Cage it does, I'm on board every single time. I'm always going to be on board when he's doing a movie. He is awesome. Every single thing that he's ever done, he has blown me away. Ever since my very first time ever seeing him was Valley Girl. And even in Valley Girl, he was outstanding. And I have that movie here. I love that movie.
I've never seen Valley Girl.
You've never?
Never.
Oh, well, it's not really for, I wouldn't call that a guy movie. It's really a girl movie. It's really more of a girl power movie and a love story. It's a Romeo and Juliet, basically, is what it is.
Raising Arizona is one of my favorites.
I love that too. I haven't seen that in ages. I liked Peggy Sue Got Married. I liked Leaving Las Vegas. I liked Kiss of the Vampire. Con Air. I mean, you name it. If he's in it, I like it. I like everything he does. So
Well, you don't really see him in this trailer. Well, I say it's a teaser because it's only a minute and a half, and they don't really reveal much at all, which I love. But it just has a very creepy vibe about it. I
I'm
would say
definitely
go
gonna have
check
to
it
check
out.
that out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I love it when he's playing somebody crazy. It's the best. Like when he played Castor Pollux. I mean, that is absolutely fantastic. Face Off is such a good movie, and I don't really hear a lot of people talking about that very often.
I
And I
still have to
really
watch
like it.
Mandy.
Mandy, I still haven't seen it either. Drive Angry might be one of my favoriteest movies that came out in the 2000s. And I highly recommend that one to all people, even though Amber Turd's in it.
I was getting ready to say, isn't Amber Heard in that movie?
Yes, yes. But you know what? I separate the act from the acting, right?
Yeah.
So what she did to Johnny
You got
Depp
to
was
separate the herd from the
horrible.
turd in that case.
Right. I just throw everything she did aside and I just watch the movie and I don't think about what she's like in real life. I just watch the movie. And I think she actually is a pretty good actress. So I mean, there was a point in that trial where she had me believe in some things that I'm ashamed to say I believed at the time.
Like her dog stepped on the bee. Did you believe that?
It was the bottle story that bothered me the
The bottle.
most.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I hate the idea of Johnny Depp doing something like that, but I don't know. I mean, making up story like that is it's hard for me to believe somebody would make up a story like that about somebody else. So I have a hard time with that whole situation. I
Yeah.
want to believe Johnny Depp is perfect, but nobody is, right?
Right.
But I love him. I love him so much. So
Okay.
again, another actor that literally doesn't ever do anything bad. I don't think that I can say that he's ever done a bad job.
So what's your favorite Johnny Depp movie? I know that's maybe a tough question, but
It's not a dumb question. That's a good
I mean,
question.
tough question. I'm sorry.
Um, he's so good in so many things. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is one whacked out crazy freaking trip, but it's so good. And Johnny Depp playing Hunter S. Thompson is brilliant. He actually wears his real clothes. He stayed in his basement for like the longest time so that he could learn all his mannerisms and all this stuff. And I like that movie a lot. It's crazy. But I like crazy. I like weird. And that movie is all about weird. So weird. It's got a great cast too. I highly recommend that movie. Highly. I also really like The Ninth Gate, which no one ever talks about. That's Roman Polanski. That's why probably nobody talks about it. But I really liked it. And I think Johnny Depp is really good in it. I also love the Pirates of the Caribbean. I mean, who doesn't? He's so funny. He's so funny. And I love how he used the guy from the Rolling Stones as a model for his way of being, you know? And I don't know. He's done so many good things that it's really hard for me to pick just one thing and say, yeah, that's my favorite Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I would say like Gilbert Grape.
Awesome.
That's my favorite, or one of my favorites. Ed Wood.
Ed Wood is so good. What was the other one you said?
Oh, Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, so good. I also like From Hell. Nobody ever talks about that one.
I haven't seen that either.
Oh my gosh, that's the one about Jack the Ripper. Are you sure you haven't seen it?
No, I haven't though. I know that.
A lot of people mix that one and Sleepy Hollow up because they came out around the same time and they have very similar, storylines in the same time frame. So people get them confused a lot. But From Hell has Heather Graham in it and Johnny Depp and the guy that plays Hagrid. Gosh, there's so many people in it. I can't think of them all. Ian Holm, the guy.
Alien.
Yes, he's in it. It's such a good movie, and no one ever talks about it. And I think that people should talk about that one more because it's really underrated. I think.
Okay. I think I have both, but
You gotta watch that. Watch it.
I always
You'll
get
love it.
From Hell and The Ninth Gate confused for me.
They came out around the same time. Johnny Depp had like a series of movies that came out between like 98 and 2001. And that was in that grouping. So I think a lot of people confuse a lot of those movies. Have you ever seen the movie Stigmata?
No, but I've heard of it. Ethan Hawke?
No.
No, wait.
It's Patricia Arquette.
Okay, I've never seen it.
It is so underrated. It's got Gabriel Byrne and Patricia Arquette, and Patricia Arquette is a hairdresser that somehow ends up possessed. And it is fantastic. It's one of those movies that's kind of like before you know it, it's over. It's just one of those movies that just flows so well. It seems like it's really a quick movie, but you've been actually sitting there for an hour and a half. Kind of like that movie Phone Booth, with Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that movie?
That's
so good. Oh, it's so good. That movie, it's from start to finish is action. And I love how that movie ends. They don't even get the bad guy. I love it. It's so good.
I think one thing that I've heard about that movie for Colin Farrell, they wanted at first Jim Carrey for that part.
I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that. Jim Carrey is so animated.
Or it would have been the Kiefer part. I forgot which.
Oh, that would have made sense. I got a question for you. Do you like that movie, The Number 23? Have you ever seen that one?
Never seen it.
That's the one horror movie that Jim Carrey has done where he's so good in it. And no one ever talks about that movie. And I think it's a shame because Virginia Madsen is an awesome actress and she does so good in that movie. And I think that Jim Carrey, normally he's so over animated and but in this one he's very subdued, even though he's obsessed with this number.
Yeah.
3. It's got a twist ending that'll blow your mind. He'll be like, what? It's definitely worth watching. It's worth checking out. So The Number 23, if you get a chance.
I have it in my collection, but I just never seen it.
Oh, it's so good. I would kill for that in my collection. I would.
I know it's directed by, because you mentioned Phone Booth, and I think both were directed by Joe Schumacher.
Yeah. Yep. I tend to like a lot of movies from specific directors, and I'll usually like a lot of their movies when I do. So. Yeah,
because Joe Schumacher also did The Lost Boys and Near Dark. No, not Near Dark.
No, not Near Dark.
I'm mixing up vampire movies now. Falling Down's a great movie. You did that. Flatliners.
Oh, yep. Flatliners. I saw that in the theater. I remember that very well because that was the last movie I watched at this one in particular theater that it shut down and caught on fire.
Oh, wow.
Like a month later. So it was like a huge loss to my area because it was basically a historical landmark. So it burning down was major. I mean, Lucille Ball was on that stage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's from here. She was born here and she's buried here.
Oh, really?
Her grave is in Lakeview Cemetery in Jamestown. And I do plan on doing one of my hiking videos showing that one of these days. You go into the cemetery and they have these hearts that are going all along the walkway. And that's how you find her grave. You just follow the hearts that say, I love Lucy.
Oh, wow.
And it goes right up to her grave.
I do know the mayor from Jaws is buried like an hour from here where I live. And I haven't been out that way, but I'm like, that'd be cool to make like a little trip out there just to, because I see a lot of people do that on YouTube, like I forgot this one YouTuber, he goes around to these famous grave sites and stuff.
Grim Life Collective?
Scott something.
Scott on Tape.
Yeah, Scott on Tape, yeah.
He's actually from around here too, I think.
Oh, really? I think he's from Canada.
I live close to Canada.
Okay.
I'm only an hour and a half away from the border. When I was 19, before I could drink in the United States, I used to sneak over the border and go drink in Canada.
How far are you from Montreal?
That's probably 4 hours, maybe a little longer.
Okay, that's where Studio Red Band he's at. Uh, yeah, Schumacher got a lot, for years apologized for Batman and Robin, but I think he's done so much better.
I think Batman and Robin is like one of those anomalies that is actually so bad it's good. I actually think that is hilarious. I love all the little wacky little jokes in it. I love that the suit has nipples. Who came up with that idea?
Schumacher.
That was hilarious. And I think Arnie is so crazy in it that I don't know. And Jim Carrey's in that one too, right?
Uma Thurman.
Yes.
Jim Carrey's in the one, Batman Forever.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's the one with Nicole Kidman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get them mixed up sometimes. Even though I saw them all in the theater, I still get them mixed up.
It's probably all the colors and the visuals and stuff. I can see
The only
why.
one I don't ever mix up is the first one. And that's because that one I have a specific memory to. I saw that one. I was in Georgia for the summer and I was staying at Fort Stewart. That's a military base. My uncle and aunt were down there in the military. And I went down there for the summer to visit. And I had a date. They set me up on like a date. And I was 16 and I went out on this date with this guy from Tennessee. And also I remember that so well because I was 16. I was just learning to drive. My uncle was teaching me down there. And, he's a sergeant. So he had a whole crew of, young 18-year-olds, who were like, who's this girl? Yeah. And he's like, she's 16. You keep your hands off, right? He's like, I will court martial anybody that goes near my niece, which I, excuse me. Sorry.
Are you good?
Which I think is funny. Because I would have liked to date somebody in the military. I was like, what are you doing? It's like tantamount to cock blocking. But yeah, so I remember that. I tie that one specifically to that. So I've never really forgotten the first one. But I always get the others mixed up.
Oh yeah. Here's a good question.
What do I think of whenever they adapt video games into movies or shows? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I think the first Mortal Kombat is a masterpiece. I remember going to see that with a group of friends when it came out because we were all super into Mortal Kombat back then. All my friends were playing it. We had just gotten the PlayStation 1 and all my friends were constantly playing Mortal Kombat on it. I was constantly going to the mall and watching my friends playing this game. So it was a big deal. And we all sat in the car, before going in and smoked a joint. And then we went in there and it was so funny. It was one of the best times I ever had with my friends at the movie theater. And it was memorable. I like that one a lot. Resident Evil, I think Resident Evil, the first one, the second one, the third one's good. The fourth one, I sort of don't remember a whole lot about, but I do remember thinking that it was okay. And then after that, I just kind of lost track. I do like Silent Hill. I don't like the second Silent Hill. The first Silent Hill, though, is a masterpiece. I mean, that movie is so good. It has such good cinematography, and the look of it and the feel of it is definitely the way Silent Hill really feels when you're playing the game. So I really like that one. I'm trying to think of other ones. Like Dead Island and stuff like that. I've never really sat down and watched any of those movies.
Street Fighter?
I remember who's in that?
Oh, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Okay, yes, I did see. I'm pretty sure I saw that one at the theater. I remember liking it, but a lot of his movies, especially back in the old days, they blend together for me. So I don't really remember a whole lot about Street Fighter itself. I just remember him, moving around and looking hot. So,
what about the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out?
The one with Bob Hoskins and
yeah.
Oh God,
I like
hated
that one.
it.
What?
You did?
I like it. It's a fun movie. I know it's not perfect.
Yeah, for what it is, it's pretty good for what it is. But I just was like, I was confused because I was like, how are they going to take Mario and make it into a movie? That doesn't make any sense. And the way that they portrayed it, it made sense at the time, I guess, because of technology. They couldn't really do what they wanted to do, is what I think. But it's Mario was never one of my favorite games. My brother used to play that one a lot, and he actually he spent an entire summer sitting in front of the TV playing that until he won it. So he that was more his thing. And I was like, let's see. That would have been I was 20 when the first one came out. So I just wasn't it wasn't my thing at the time.
Okay. I'm trying to think
Because
about
that
it.
was 93, right?
Yeah, 93.
Yeah, I was 20 and I was too busy going to bars and, you know, dating and working. And I just wasn't, I had my first apartment. So
Is there
I
another
just
one we're
wasn't
not
into
thinking
that.
about? I
What?
mean, there's more. I'm trying to think of more that we're not thinking about. Video
It's
game
hard for me to
movies.
remember all of them because there's been so many and people mostly don't like them. Oh, I know one.
I hate
Dead or
Hitman.
Alive. Dead or Alive is good. Do you remember that one? It's
I
got
haven't seen
Jamie
that one.
Presley in it.
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it.
It's so good. That's so right up your alley.
Yeah.
You would like it. Especially because they aren't, I mean, you know how the games are. The games are like they made an entire game just so you could watch bouncing boobs, right? So there's a lot of bouncing boobs in the movie. And also I really like the cast. I think the casting was perfect. So
What
I
about
think that's worth it.
Double Dragon? Have you seen that one?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I
Okay,
might
that'd
have
be-
I might have seen certain things in passing
Mhm.
because, I'm running around my house doing mom chores and something's always playing in the background.
Okay.
Um, the
Oh,
game is it a game? No, it's a TV show. Sorry, I'm confusing it.
what's that?
I was thinking of my son being into Goku and that whole thing, and he liked that movie. And I can't think of the name of the movie now, but it's not a video game. So
What about the reboot for Mortal Kombat? Did you like that, or
I don't think I've seen it. And if I have, I don't remember. So if I liked it, I would probably remember it. Dragon Ball Z, thank you.
yeah?
That's it. I
It's
don't think I saw Annihilation. I don't think I saw that. I know that it was on and I saw it on in the list, when I would be flipping channels, but I don't remember ever like stopping on it and paying attention. So
unfortunately I've seen the reboot for Mortal Kombat, and me, Gabbo, and another person we're doing a commentary for that tomorrow night. So this will be the third time watching it, and I mean, it'll be fun with the guys, but I'm kind of dreading it a little bit because I've been through it twice, and I'm not a fan of it.
oh, well, I might watch it and give it a chance. I mean, I'm
You might
willing to
like it.
watch anything.
You might like it. I mean,
Yeah. I'm willing to watch anything once. I'll give it a chance. I'll give everything a fair chance. That's how I am about all my reviews. I want to make sure I go into stuff completely blind and try so I can be fair. That's why
yeah.
a lot of times everybody else will be like talking about something that's coming out, like a lot before it comes out, and then I usually avoid those. Or right after something comes out, people will be talking about it, and I'll avoid all those streams because I like to go into things that, without knowing what I'm going into. Like I did with Barbarian a couple weeks ago. I finally watched Barbarian and it blew my mind. I did not know what I was going to see. I knew that I was going to see something going on with like a Airbnb and that there was going to be some kind of confusion and that the guy might not be trustworthy. I mean, I saw all that in the trailer. But when those twists come, I was like, what? And at the end, I don't want to say too much in case people haven't seen it, but
I haven't seen it.
oh, I won't say then because you're
Okay,
not
I'll say
going to want to
anything.
know a darn thing. I don't want to tell you a darn thing because you're going to go everything. You're not going to realize it's coming.
Yeah.
You don't see these twists coming and they blow your mind. And man, Justin Long is an asshole in that. He's so hateable, but lovable and hateable at the same time. Because you love to hate him, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's really good in it.
Have you seen Malignant? Is that the one I'm thinking about?
I've heard a lot about it. I've never seen it. I was supposed to watch it one time for coffee time when I was on Twin Peaks Coffee Time, and I ended up watching the wrong movie. So I ended up watching something else. And when we went to talk about it, I'm talking about something totally different. And James is like, "What did you watch?" And I'm like, "Malignant." And he's like, "Oh no, you must have seen something. You must have done the wrong thing because everything you're talking about is not the right movie." And I'm like, "Oh no, I guess I watched something else called Malignant. I think there are 2 movies called Malignant, or I might have watched something called Malevolent. I can't even speak. Malevolent.
It's late.
Malevolent. I think I watched a movie called Malevolent instead of Malignant.
I could see how that could be confusing.
Yeah. So I never got to review it right. And then I was so mad that I just never went back and watched it because I was like embarrassed. Yeah. Oh, really? I love playing that game. I love being Katana.
But what's your?
She's purple. She wears purple, and I like that.
What's your? Okay, here's a question no one's asked. But what's your? Okay, what would you say is the worst horror franchise?
The worst.
Yes.
That's a tough one because a lot of times if they make a horror movie into a franchise, usually they're not bad. But there have been some, like, I love the the Dawn of the Dead and the Day of the Dead movies, you know, the originals. I love the remake of Dawn of the Dead. I think it's one of the best remakes ever made. But then the remake of Day of the Dead is just awful. It's absolutely awful. And they took all my favorite things out of it. So I don't know. I guess I'm not a fan of zombie movies as much as everybody else is. A lot of people are really into this zombie, you know, the zombie kind of movies. And I just, it never really scared me. I get that it's an allegory and I get that it's a metaphor, you know, for, you know, a bunch of people walking around, you know, with their eyes closed. I get it. But I guess it just never scared me enough because I know of an actual zombie apocalypse cannot happen. So I just never really liked the zombie movies that much. I did like the one there with the one where it's the British one. What is
Dead
it?
Alive?
No.
Because that's my favorite.
Dead Alive?
Yeah, that's the one Peter Jackson directed.
Yes, I love that one.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the one 28 Days Later.
Okay, I haven't seen those.
Oh.
I knew they're working on a new, like they're trying to get a new one made. They're trying to make a new one.
I can see why they want to, because I mean, the story itself is actually really good, but it just, I don't know. I don't like the look of it very much. It kind of has this feeling like, the style of it is like almost like if your eyeballs were burnt. I just, you know, like it looks too hot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like the filter, like the kind of look of it.
Yeah, it's too abrupt and sharp, and I just don't enjoy it. And plus, I think it's the stuff that happens in that movie with the little girl and the military guys. Oh, you haven't seen it. I shouldn't say anything.
I think I have both of them, believe it or not.
You should watch them because they're actually worth watching. It's just I prefer, like, that's not something I'm going to go out and seek out. You know what I mean? Yeah. I won't go out and seek that out to buy for my collection. But if I found it for cheap, I might pick it up just because. But it's not something I'll seek out. I do like Night of the Living Dead, and I like Dawn of the Dead. But for me, the zombie movies really aren't really aren't the thing that I go for mostly. I really like to go for supernatural horror and slashers. So
Okay. Okay. Well, I know Gabo said Leprechaun, but I don't know what your.
oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. See, I never think that quick on the fly. That's a good one. I hate the Leprechaun movies. I
As
never
in
liked
like,
them.
you just hate the Leprechaun character, or it's just.
I don't hate the character because I think he's kind of funny. Of course, Warwick Davis he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
So I kind of like his wit. He has a Freddy kind of wit to him. But I also think that it's really dumb. It's really not scary. And I feel bad because I think Jennifer Aniston is definitely embarrassed of,
Yeah.
making that movie. And it's too bad because she shouldn't be. She should be proud of every single thing she's done. But I really don't like the Leprechaun movies. I've never seen Leprechaun in the Hood. I've never seen Leprechaun in Space. I've never seen any of those. I've seen the first Leprechaun in the theater, and then I didn't see any more. So
I've seen the first four, and I would say for me, like the one I had fun with the most was Leprechaun in Space.
that seems fun. That does.
Yeah.
And once they go to space, you can't take it seriously anymore. Like I absolutely love Jason X.
I
I
like
think
it too.
that movie is got some of the best kills of the series. I love the fact that it's totally cheeky. You don't have to take it seriously at all. I love the wardrobe that they created for that. I love the idea of the hollow deck kind of thing, and that's a Star Trek term. I don't know if you like Star Trek,
Yeah, I
but
do like Star Trek.
the hollow deck idea is brilliant. I loved it. I just absolutely loved it. So yeah, I actually I do like that one in space. Most
Yeah.
of the time though, once they go to space, it's pretty junky.
Yeah, I still like Jason X. In fact, now we're talking about it, I want to watch it again. But I know we missed this question here. I know Wild Man Beyond's wanting to ask about reactors out there on YouTube. What are your thoughts on people that react to these movies?
I love reacting channels. I watch them all the time. It is the way that I want to take my channel. Um, I would much rather do like in-depth reactions to movies I haven't seen. That way I can be completely honest. Other than like, I don't know, I guess reacting to movies I've already seen would be fun too, but I definitely like these channels that are reacting to something for the first time so that you can see their genuine reactions. I've been really enjoying lately watching people react to Taylor Swift because everybody thinks she's this girl with a guitar, right?
Right.
That's what she's not. First of all, she has more disses in her music towards people than Eminem. She is a brilliant songwriter. Her lyrics are amazing. She puts on one of the best shows I've ever seen. She puts Madonna to shame right now. I mean, I was a huge fan of Madonna Truth or Dare, right? That is literally like my favorite musical movie of all time. But this Eras Tour one is going to wipe that right out of the water because I've been watching her videos of her doing her live performances and she blows my mind. Not only because she's up there dancing, which Kanye West and Kim said she could never do, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, really? You want to see what I can do?" So she makes this song, look what you made me do. And she starts dancing in her videos. And I mean, her videos already are amazing because they're like movies. They're like mini movies. I don't know if you've ever seen a Taylor Swift video, but really, honestly,
No.
they're fantastic. They're like watching mini movies. They're always really good and she's funny. She's got a sense of humor. Which I really like about her because she doesn't take herself too seriously. She gets up on stage though, and I swear to God, I'm like, I see why her concerts are selling out to $1 billion. She's going to be the first person in history to make $1 billion on a concert because her concert is so good. Her music is good. I'm telling you. Like, here's some of her lyrics. Okay, so it goes, draw the cat eyes sharp enough to kill a man. Let me do a different one.
Okay.
She needed cold hard proof, so I gave her some. She had the envelope. Where do you think she got it from? Now she gets the house, gets the kids, gets the pride. Picture me thick as thieves with your ex-wife. She don't dress for women. She don't dress for men. Lately, she's been dressing for revenge.
Yeah.
That's some of her lyrics. And that is literally about somebody. That's about somebody we all know. And then there's another part in that song where she says, well, he was doing lines and crossing all of mine. Someone told his crimes, his white collar crimes, to the FBI. Right?
Right.
I don't know who that's about for sure, because who knows? Because she's dated so many huge people. But that's the thing. Taylor Swift takes her real life and she puts it in her music, and her music is amazing. And people don't even know that she writes under a pen name for all kinds of other people. There's all kinds of other hits on the radio that you hear that were written by her that no one knows it was written by her because she does it under a pen name. She wrote songs for Rihanna. She's wrote songs for oh God, Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
So many. I mean, and she also changes genres. She can do any genre and she's good. I mean, she's got songs where she raps, like Ready for It, the song Ready for It.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rap. She sings though. I mean, there's a singing part, but she's rapping. And every time I watch somebody react to that one, especially the live version of it, their mouths hit the floor because they can't believe that this little Taylor Swift that they remember being like, you know, a little 14-year-old standing at the microphone with a guitar is now 34 and, you know, doing this kind of stuff. She's amazing. She really is. So
well, I guess I know who you're rooting for on the Super Bowl.
Yes, I am. Well, I'm rooting for the Chiefs for other reasons though, because I actually really like the Chiefs. My husband is a huge Chiefs fan. I'm a Bills fan, but he's a Chiefs fan. So, you know, when the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl, I have to support it.
Neither are my team, really, to be honest with you, but I'll go for 49ers, but I don't know. It's going to be a tough one.
It is. I think that I'm hoping though that the Chiefs pull it out because I'd like to see them win. I really would. But I thought the same thing about Buffalo every single time. And here they go to the Super Bowl. They came close every time. So I'm going to tell you right now, talk about frustrating. It is so frustrating when I think back to especially the first two, and I was sitting in my room doing my math homework while I'm watching the Super Bowl, and I'm like so stressed because I thought they were going to win.
Yeah,
they didn't win it. Never won. It's just so frustrating. I hope they make it back someday and they actually win.
Yeah, I was rooting for him. I don't know if Jamie saw that comment, Wild Man Beyond. I'm not going to display it, but
Taylor Swift is overrated. Well, I don't know why you think she's overrated. I mean, the stuff that she writes, nobody else is writing kind of the stuff that she's writing. Everybody is writing superficial music. And in the meantime, Taylor Swift is writing really deep, meaningful lyrics that are, you know, up there with like Eminem, if you ask me. The only other person I know of that puts as many disses in their music as she does is Eminem. And Eminem is hardcore when it comes to dissing. So you know I'm making this comparison because I mean it. She's just mind-blowing. My thoughts on Marvel?
Marvel, yeah.
I am sick to death of superhero movies. I've been sick to death of superhero movies before Marvel even came out.
I'll fight for that.
Like, you want to show me a superhero movie? I prefer like Brightburn, you know, or I prefer the M. Night Shyamalan Unbreakable Split Glass trilogy as that's my superhero movie. You know, I like the something different. I'm tired of Marvel. I love the X-Men movies. I have the first 3 X-Men movies. I love Spider-Man, but I like the Spider-Mans from, you know, the Sam Raimi versions of Spider-Man. What do I think of Sydney Sweeney? She's beautiful. And she's super funny. So I really, really like her. I think she's a lot more than, a pretty face. She's funny. I like that.
Oh, don't get Wild Man started. He has a big crush.
Oh, I don't blame him. She's beautiful. She is
We know Wild
absolutely
Man's
gorgeous.
watching a lot of Euphoria.
I'm addicted to it. I love that show. I really do. I like shows that make my mouth go, and I'm like, what did I just see? Because that show has done that to me on occasion. The same way that, like, Shameless. I don't know if you've ever watched the show Shameless.
I never.
That show will make you go, what am I watching? What? I can't believe they're putting this on film,
Well, I know
because
there's a movie out right now that's getting like kind of that, not Euphoria levels, but there's a movie with Jenna Ortega that's out right now with Martin Freeman. It's kind of like a take on The Crush.
yeah, I think
It's like
I saw a trailer for that. Yeah.
And there's like a scene in there between them two that's, getting people talking. So
I'll have to check into that. I did hear that she's putting something out that's on the more of a, a thriller kind of side. So
oh yeah,
I was kind of looking
is that the
forward
one
to
with
that.
Tommy Lee Jones that I saw the trailer for?
Yes, yes, I saw that. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, she's beautiful. Oh, I hate Disney. They're the devil.
Yeah.
They're the devil. And I like saying that, like, the Waterboy's mom, because seriously, I hate Disney. I think Disney is bad for all kinds of reasons. I don't like the way that they portray teenagers. I don't like how much of a grip they have over entertainment in general. I think that they spoil everything because they're always trying to make everything PG-13. I want rated R. I want rated R. I want adult content, and I don't get that from Disney. So I really don't. I'm not a big fan of Disney. I don't watch the Hallmark Channel. Sorry, Patrick. My friend Patrick will get mad at me for saying that, but he loves the Hallmark Channel. I just don't, because I don't like all that, like, feely stuff,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already that way to begin with. I don't need the extra. I already feel enough on my own. So I don't really like to watch that stuff because I don't know. I don't like cheesy, feely stuff. I just don't. I'd rather watch something that is more impossible.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know. I just have a dark side, and that dark side wants to constantly bubble up to the surface, even though on the outside I look like, little Miss Innocent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I look like I'm really sweet and really innocent and wouldn't like horror movies, but the truth is that, I just really love horror, and I love anything that's odd and different. So yeah.
Who are you trying to fool, Wild Man? Come on.
Yeah, I doubt it. That's a good show.
Yeah.
You should watch the whole thing if you're not. Come on, that's worth it. Just what blew my mind with her was that scene on the merry-go-round. You know what I'm talking about, Wild Man, when I say that scene on the merry-go-round?
He's watching Euphoria. Come on, Wild Man. You know you are.
Yeah. The scene
I
on
play
the
with Wild Man all
merry-go-round
the time.
made me so sad for her. And it also made me go, well, that's what you get for doing drugs. Because you do drugs and weird stuff happens, right? So if she wouldn't have done them drugs, she might not have done the stuff on the horse that she did. So you're emo and crazy, but you have a heart too. I like emo and I like crazy, and I'm emo too. I'm a huge fan of emo music. Huge. Like My Chemical Romance is one of my favorite bands, so I really like that.
Well, I mean, I don't know how long you wanted to be, but I was like, I don't know if 10 more minutes is good or.
Yeah, 10 more minutes is good.
Okay,
yeah.
So for people out there, ask as much as you want, and we'll try to get to it.
Yep, bring the questions. Elon Musk might buy what?
Disney.
Oh,
Gosh.
well, that'll just give me even more reason to hate it. I'm not a huge fan of Elon. I don't like anybody who, thinks that their money makes them I don't like anybody with so much money and an ego. If you have money, you should be using it to do good in the world,
Yeah.
not to make yourself better. If you have money, you should be using it to do something worthwhile in the world. And I'm sorry, but buying Twitter and doing what he did to Twitter, I hated Twitter to begin with, but he just made it 10 times worse. So I left Twitter about a year ago and
Yeah.
I haven't been back. And I don't regret it because I wasn't getting I'm not going to pay to get any publicity on there or anything like that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And I don't like greedy people. And I don't like guys who think that their shit don't stink. So
Speaking of shit, I was smiling because I saw this question here. Like a downloadable character.
yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. What could her name be?
I don't know. We know what a fatality is.
I can't believe she did that. I mean, I've had some seriously messed up relationships, and I never once got the idea to, do a dookie on the pillow. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I just don't get it. I mean, that's nasty. That is gross. I can't. And her friend was looking at her when she did it, apparently. I mean,
Really?
I'd be trying to talk her out of it, cut it out. That's terrible.
I didn't know about that part.
You didn't know she shit on his pillow?
I mean, I know she sit on his bed, but I didn't know about the friend watching or taping it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't think she taped it, but she was there when it happened and she watched it and she told her, that might not have been the best idea. So, yeah.
Okay. So we have an admittance here. So you have been watching.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. You're like that guy, right? That wants to date her in the show. And then he's like, but I don't want to date you because I like you. I just want to. Well, he likes her, but he basically told her right to her face. It was all about, just her body and stuff. He didn't even care about her. So, and I haven't watched any in a while, so I'm kind of behind on it, I think, a little bit, but.
Yeah, if Wild Man Beyond was in the stream here, he would not stop talking about Sydney Sweeney. Let's just.
I like her though. She's funny. I like that new movie that's coming out with her in it. It's a rom-com. That's going to be one that I'm going to like. See, because
is it the one with Glenn Powell?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks hilarious, and I saw her and him doing this like back and forth kind of thing to promote it. And the way they were doing it was so funny. She was saying some of the funniest stuff ever. And that's what I like. I like people who have like enough balls to do something completely unexpected. And that's what she does. I like that.
Goji fan?
Hello.
Oh, you ever heard of Goji Fan 93? I guess it's a channel.
No. Mm-mm. No. The reaction channels that I watch are usually I watch React. I mean, there's a channel literally called React, and they have a lot of fun reaction stuff on there. But if I'm going to react to people watching movies and stuff, I don't know. I'm trying to think of one that I've watched a lot. Rob Squad Reactions is one I like. Mm-hmm. Gosh, I can't think of all. There's so many of them that I can't think of any of them. My brain is blank. But yeah, I really like reaction channels. Linkin Park is good. I like Linkin Park a lot. May Chester rest in peace. What a loss. He had one amazing voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a fan as well.
Carousel, not a merry-go-round. Are you British?
Star Trek themed.
No, I haven't seen any Star Trek themed YouTube channels. I do like Star Trek though. I've always watched Star Trek ever since I was a little kid. I used to watch the original. I watched the one with Picard. some of those spin-off ones
Yeah.
I didn't watch so much, but I've seen all of the movies literally since the very first one. I saw that very first movie in the theater when I was 5 or 6.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. Uh, my mom liked to take me to the movies. It was just the reason that I've seen so much stuff is because my family was very involved in watching movies, not just because we had HBO and stuff, but my mom really loved taking us all to the movies. It was a family event that we did every weekend. And then when I got older, I started going every single weekend with my friends. So when I say I lived at the theater, I literally was like there every week. So I got to see everything in the 80s and 90s pretty much.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I forgot where I was going with that. Oh yeah, I was saying that I saw Star Trek 1. I've never ever forgotten the impact. Same thing with Star Wars. The
Mhm.
impact that those two movies had on me at a young age is the reason why I became a movie fan, and the reason why I became a movie fan who's interested in photography and cinematography, because I could see how beautiful these movies were. They were shot with this intensity, and I like that. And it drew me towards stuff like Kubrick and stuff because, and
Mhm.
David Lynch, because they have a specific style. That's why I like Rob Zombie too. A lot of people don't like Rob Zombie. A lot of people don't like his movies. And a lot of people especially don't like his Halloween movies. I don't mind them. I think they're great. And I think he's got a specific look. He has a specific style. And to me, that's what makes a director great. If you can look at a movie and go, that's done by this person, then that director has something special.
Mhm.
Because, and that's what I think about Rob Zombie, because every single one of his movies, you can tell, you can totally tell that it's a Rob Zombie movie. And that's why I think he doesn't get the credit he deserves. I think he deserves more credit for the beauty he puts in his movies. And I understand that people didn't like, the way that he changed Halloween and how he put that whole beginning part in, but I understand why he did it. Him and I are both Gen X. We know, we grew up in an era where everybody was asking these questions.
Yeah.
Why do serial killers, why do kidnappers do this? Right? It was talked about in every talk show throughout the 80s and part of the 90s. I personally was affected by the satanic panic because, and I don't want to bring the show down, but
Are you good?
so in 1988, my cousin Kathy was kidnapped and came missing. They found her car at the mall. They found her keys in an alley. They found her purse in a separate alley. And they never found her until 2 years later.
Oh wow.
And they found her 2 years later across the border in some woods in Warren, Pennsylvania. She had been stabbed 17 times. It's pretty awful.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Shoot, I forgot why I was telling this story.
Are you good?
Why was I telling this story? What was my point? Ugh, I can't. Oh, because I was saying the satanic panic. That's right. See, back then there was this constant question about why these people are doing these types of acts, and what motivates them to do these kinds of things. So Rob Zombie has an interest in it the same way that I do. What causes people? I have no idea. No idea at all who took my cousin and why that happened to her. And she was older. She was like 32 when it
Oh
happened.
wow.
I was 14. I have no idea who did it or why. So when I see things like I used to love that's why I'm interested in psychology, because I want to know why these things happen to people. I want to know why, because you never think it's going to be your family. I mean, I'll never forget it. The phone call. My mom's like, what happened? And I heard her talking in the kitchen and she goes, Jamie, your dad's on the phone. He wants to talk to you. So I went in there and I took the phone and I said, hi. And he tells me, Kathy's missing. You're going to go to school tomorrow and you're going to hear a lot of stuff, none of it's true, and don't believe anything that anybody says because half of it's going to be rumors. You know, just pay attention to what the family says. And of course, it got all messed up, and they got the wrong people and accused the wrong people, wasted a ton of taxpayer money and a ton of time, and never found the person who did it. To this day, no one, it's unsolved. Um, so when I see Rob Zombie doing this kind of stuff, I kind of understand where he's coming from, why it was important to him to show how this kid went bad, because he obviously saw a lot of the same things that I did growing up when it comes to like how like this whole idea with the guy and the stepdad yelling, swearing, and being really like obnoxious, and that whole scene. I swear to God, I saw families like that, growing up. So for me, it never seemed really out of the ordinary, because I actually knew people, who talked like that. I saw that in my life. So I just never really had a problem with it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Rob Zombie doesn't get enough credit. I just think that he doesn't get enough credit. And a lot of people don't, they just misunderstand why he's doing stuff the way he's doing it.
So, what's your take on his Monsters movie?
I haven't seen it yet. I have a feeling I'm probably not going to like it because I'm a huge fan of the original Monsters. I don't like the idea of it being in color.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give it a chance. I don't know. He loved it just as much as I did. So maybe he actually, did a good job with it. But unless I see it, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I mean, it's a good stopping point here. And, I mean, we've been going for, I think, like 2 hours almost. And I don't want to, keep you and stuff. I don't know if you get a certain time that you go to bed or whatnot. But
Oh
just
no,
want to
I
say
have
thank you
terrible
for,
insomnia.
yeah, you're fine.
Yeah,
I just want
I'm
to,
usually up all night. So yeah,
yeah.
it's no big deal. When I come on, I usually expect about 2 hours. So yeah,
Okay.
it's
But I
perfect.
just want to thank you for coming in here and being part of the stream. And yeah, I mean, this is like the first time us talking. So, it probably took a little bit to kind of, develop a banter here, but I enjoyed it.
I did too. I'm so glad you had me on. This was really fun, and I very seldom get to really discuss, these thoughts, and with people that around me. Nobody knows what I'm talking about when they
Yeah.
talk about movies. So it is really nice to come on to somebody's show and talk about these things. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
And we'll definitely do this again. And thank you to everybody in the chat for asking questions and for being there. So
Yep. Thank you.
we'll see you guys later and take care.
Bye.